Well, here we are in beautiful Hoboken, New Jersey, heading into Weehawken, New Jersey, and heading north. It has been a frigid 2 months since I arrived, thus no videos, because watching me bundled up in a mask just wouldn't have been very interesting. So, as I said, heading north along the Hudson River. Continuing north, there's the George Washington Bridge. Fort Lee Towers off to the left. Well, Fort Lee off to the left. Some condo towers. Well, now at a rest stop on the Palisades Parkway, or I guess it's now known as the Palisades Scenic Byway, just across from the tip of Manhattan. I think I'll take a look. Well, this is a gorgeous spot. Not really away from the parkway, but it is beautiful. Across the way, that bridge crosses the Harlem River. That's a Henry Hudson Bridge. On the right is Manhattan. Down that way, on the George Washington Bridge. On the left is Bronx, Yonkers, and beyond into Westchester County. Well, nice little stop, but barely on the road. And it's a beautiful day, so going to keep heading north. See what I can find. Pulling into another lookout here. This is the State Line lookout. Shortly past this, the road leaves New Jersey and enters New York State. Take a look. You're supposed to pay to park here, so I'll take care of that first. Don't expect to stay too long, but it does support the park, and there's no entrance fee, so do my piece. And that's good for 2 hours. State Line overlook. That is Hastings on Hudson across the way. To the north is Dobbs Ferry. In the other direction is Yonkers. And you can just see the Tappan Zee Bridge. The Metro North Hudson line, and I guess that's also an Amtrak corridor, is on the other side, and there's a train coming through. Probably can't make it out on the camera, but it will go right past those apartment towers. You might make out the reflections from the metal cars. That's the old New York Central line that brought cargo into New York City. There's another line on this side of the river, a bit to the west of us. And it all came together on the New York and the Hoboken and Jersey City shorelines, where roughly where I live today, they used to have float barges to bring rail cars back and forth, and also to bring cargo from the New Jersey side into Manhattan. Bunch of red-tailed hawks are gliding. There are a couple of them. I've seen a number of photographers with long lenses. I think they nest in the cliffs and hunt rodents and other things lower down. There's another one. Beautiful birds. Just a quick note. I missed the sign, but we did just enter New York State. This vehicle has been in New Jersey since I got here, and now is first time into New York. This is a beautiful road. Cuts away from the river for a while here. I was thinking of taking Route 9 West that hugs closer to the river, but I don't recall it having particularly great views. And I would like to get a bit further north. Well, high up above the Hudson River Valley, below is the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, occupying that area. And over there is an old ski area that I think actually used to be owned by West Point, maybe still is, but I saw a sign that it's open to the public. Doesn't look like there's much skiing right now. Getting a little bit of weather, not enough to bother me, but hopefully it blows through. Gonna continue northward and look for a place for lunch. And up we go. This is no longer officially the scenic parkway, but still a beautiful road. I think we lost the raindrops. Not entirely. Welcome to the Walkway Over the Hudson State Park. I talked about the area's railroad heritage earlier today, and this is a part of it. Now a park. Let's take a look. Well, it's a windy day here on the walkway across the Hudson, or walkway over the Hudson. An old rail bridge that closed after a fire in 1974, and in the early 2000s was transformed into a pedestrian crossing, park, and part of the New York State Trail Network. It was a warmer day earlier, but it's cooler up here and noisy. Windy as well. Behind me on the east side of the river, Poughkeepsie, New York. Beneath us right now, those are the train tracks on the west side of the Hudson. Former New York Central tracks, now run by CSX. On the other side, the other set of tracks that I talked about earlier, those are still used by commuter trains that get this far, and by Amtrak that go beyond to Toronto, Buffalo, I think even on to Chicago. The route beneath us is what was known as the water level route. New York Central favored that one because it pretty much stayed at the level of the water all the way from the Great Lakes into New York City. So very little up and down, which made it a very efficient route. Unfortunately, it was only good for things coming from the west, not from the south or the southeast. So New York City was cut off from that direction. This bridge helped somewhat with that, but only to a point. Eventually, trucking took over most of that traffic, sometimes connecting two railroads in New Jersey. Over there, the it's cold, I can barely talk. The Mid-Hudson vehicle bridge that goes across to Poughkeepsie as well. I accidentally took that bridge earlier. As I said, this bridge closed in 1974 after a fire, but even by then it had been declining. Trucking was taking over. A lot of the manufacturing sites to the east, like in Connecticut's Housatonic River Valley, had closed because this bridge is so high up and it can't connect to the main lines beneath us. Trains had to take a really roundabout route if they wanted to get to New York City or Long Island, and the same on the west side, heading south into New Jersey and beyond. So by the time it closed, it was getting very little traffic at all. And the fire just was the last straw for this bridge. Nice to walk on it now. Continuing across, Poughkeepsie has a couple of colleges at least. I believe that one over there is a Catholic college, Marist College, I think. And off in the other direction, the better known Vassar College, formerly a women's only school, but not anymore. I'm pretty sure it's not anymore. Though I may be wrong. Beautiful setting. Worth coming back on a day that's a little less windy and cold, or at least when I bother to bring the right layers. This is where the Walkway Over the Hudson becomes the Hudson Valley Rail Trail that continues to follow the rail tracks. And as you can see, there's quite a network of these. They do in fact follow the rails pretty well. It's been a chilly, blustery day. More so than I thought when leaving the New York area this morning. But sometimes it's like that. I thought I had an extra layer in the car. I will have to make sure I do next time I do a trip like this. But would love to come back here in better weather. Maybe explore Bear Mountain as well. I don't think there'll be a chance to do that on this trip, but we will drive back down that way. Maybe take the Bear Mountain Bridge and drive down the other side of the Hudson for a bit. Just to do something different. So here's the Bear Mountain Bridge. Railroad tracks on both sides still. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. Been a long time since I've been this way, and I don't remember the details, but we're going in the right direction. Scenic area. Take a look. East side of the Hudson River. It's windy, but at least sunny. Another beautiful viewpoint. And some kind of big open space down there. Almost looks like an island or part island in the river. I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to look it up later and maybe put some notes down below. But turning into a beautiful drive. Well, continuing to be a beautiful drive. And more traffic than I'd like on a road like this, but just have to slow down, take it easy. Historic Bear Mountain Toll House. Bear Mountain is on the other side of the river. But many of these roads back in the day were toll roads. At our first stop, I pointed out the tip of Manhattan and the Henry Hudson Bridge. Well, we are now on that bridge, heading south. George Washington Bridge. All the Hudson River crossings have tolls in only one direction, heading into New York City. You can leave for free, but you have to pay to get in, which I guess makes sense. It's been a really nice trip. Thanks for coming along. And see you on the next one, wherever that one may take me.